Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Top Producers Nation podcast. This, of course, is the podcast that is made for top producers, with top producers, and of course, here in the Tampa Bay market, none other than Tampa Bay's top producers. We are powered by Tampa Bay real producers here in our local market. You can check us out, by the way, at topproducersnation.com to see the free community that we've put together for agents who desire to become top producers in your desired market. So feel free to check that out. There's a bunch of resources there for you, as well as ongoing calls and even a course that you can look at if you're somebody who wants that extra help to become a top producer in your market. So today, as you've probably known if you followed our show, we also will bring our partners on. We have multiple partners that help with the Tampa Bay Real Producers platform. Today we have one of those partners who owns Sublime Staging, and that's Mr. Frank Albert. Frank, this is not his first time on the show. If you followed us before, Frank also runs Frank Albert Realty. And we've had him on the show before to talk a lot about Frank Albert Realty and some of the short-term rental investing strategies that he's built for his own portfolio, as well as for clients that he's worked with. Frank also and his team were successful last year at our Agent Choice Awards event and took home some hardware from that event. So I'm glad to have Frank here today so that we can focus a little bit more on the Sublime Staging business, which is definitely one of our most premiered partners with Tampa Bay Real Producers. So Frank, it's good to have you back, man. How are you?
Thanks for having me. Good.
Yeah, no doubt.
Good.
So like I said, obviously we've done a little bit of an intro already with your background, and people can check that out if they want to learn more about how you got to Tampa and how you started in the real estate game. So we're going to focus today more on the Sublime Staging startup. So cool. If I remember correctly, I think Sublime Staging was started through the STR business out of necessity for you. Is that correct? Or
no,
talk about that.
Through the real estate side of things.
So it was, okay.
Necessity.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did Sublime Staging start, and what was the motivation behind it?
Started in 2015, so we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary in a couple months.
Okay, cool. Congrats.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no doubt.
We need to have a party for it, actually. Yeah.
Just another party that you need, right?
Exactly. Started 10 years ago. It started out of necessity. 10 years ago, I feel like now it's a little more of a competitive field, but 10 years ago, there was only a couple staging companies out there, and I called two of the maybe three or four that were around at the time, and both of them were booked out like a month. And then the other one, I just wasn't getting the best customer service from. We still ended up using them because I obviously couldn't start a company that quick.
Sure.
But it just didn't go well. My clients were complaining. So I basically started it from there.
Okay. And so obviously there's a common theme I've seen with people who start businesses is it's usually out of a pain point, right? Like something didn't go well, there wasn't somebody being served properly, and then it creates an idea which most entrepreneurs want to do something about.
Right.
And it sounds like that was kind of the story behind you as well. Yeah. Not that you weren't busy already, but why not start another company, right?
Yeah. Well, at the time I thought if there's only 3 companies and they're booked out a month, this has got to be
an opportunity.
Profitable opportunity, which I was wrong about, but
I know that you told me some of the horror story that you had there for a while. We could dig into it if you want to.
Sure.
But I know after a while,
there's always horror stories. There still are.
How you personally were or were not investing a ton of your personal time into the growth of Sublime Staging, or did you bring staffing on right away?
So the first I'll say the first 6 months I had a business partner. And she ended up getting pregnant, so she couldn't commit to doing it. Yeah. So I kind of took over and ran with it for probably 2 years by myself.
Okay.
Just with a couple of employees, maybe really just like 1 or 2 employees.
Were you mostly just serving your own deals, or were you reaching out and working with other agents at this point?
The first 3, I think, were just mine. And then after that, we were starting to work for investors and realtor friends of mine and things like that.
Okay. Nowadays, does most of your business from Sublime come from other agents?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What does that percentage look like?
Probably 90%.
Very cool. So obviously that's scaled a lot more on the agent side versus your own personal business.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you're still obviously serving your own personal business as well.
Yeah. Then about 10% for mine and our agents at the brokerage. Yeah.
So you were digging in a little bit to how your initial partner there on that had to step away.
Yeah.
And then so you replaced that person, it sounds like.
I did it solo with just employees helping for about 2 years, because at that point I had already invested like about 50 grand into the furniture. I didn't want to just walk away from it.
Sure.
So at that point, I didn't really know anything about staging. So I was like, I guess I'm going to be a stager now.
Right.
I really at first was just,
which is a whole other skill set, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at first,
like
I
an
just
interior
wanted to
design
be,
eye type of thing. Is that really what you kind of need?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to be like a silent partner in the beginning and just put the money in and let my partner do it. But after buying all the furniture and then it not working out, I just said, you know what, I need to just jump in and figure it out.
Right.
So I did that for about 2 years.
Sure, you learned a lot in those 2 years.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And never slept.
What was the biggest takeaway you think? Now you think back now, like what was the most important thing for you to learn in those 2 years? Specifically about Sublime Staging, obviously.
Probably that it was like, I kept thinking, oh, well, if I just spend, 10 more thousand here, then we'll have enough furniture to, last us for X amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll be able to profit. And that lasted for 9 years.
Okay.
It never ended, basically.
Yeah, it's hard to keep telling yourself that.
Yeah. So it would have been nice to know that 9 years ago that it's like a never ending buying of furniture, basically.
Yeah.
Inspectors come in and step on your couches and leave shoe print stains and things like that. Yeah.
Where did you warehouse all of your furniture? Did you have a certain place?
We leased a warehouse at first.
Okay.
And then eventually we bought one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that was another kind of animal in and of itself, is figuring out the storage side, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how you were going to deal with that. And then finding, I guess, enough suppliers that you can get good furniture for cheaper rates. Is that a part of that negotiation as well?
Making sure that it can be here in time if you get a job, pretty last minute and you're out of furniture. Yeah.
Plus the element of like every house probably needs almost like a customized like order, right? It's not like you can put the same stuff in all these different properties depending on the level of luxury they are. And
now necessarily we don't need to custom order for every specific one, because we have like 50 sets of furniture basically. So we always have options and things to choose from. But yeah, it's hard when
you still own that warehouse today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's hard when you only have like, say, 3, 4, 5, even 10 houses worth of stuff.
Yeah.
If you have a unique house, it's really hard to have the right inventory that's going to fit that.
Yeah. Was that a pain point at all in the earlier times, figuring that part out?
Yeah, definitely.
Not having the right things right away and then always having to kind of go back to the well and keep buying more, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Even now, it's still never ending. Like even with 50 houses full of stuff, you still have stuff that gets ruined, that gets dated, stuff that we bought 2.5 years ago isn't in style anymore. All the stuff that we bought 4 years ago that was, gray and colors like that, you can't use anymore. They're already out of style.
What do you do with it? Can you able to recoup any of those investments?
We actually started after the hurricane, we started a GoFundMe and a donation setup where we were donating a lot of our stuff off.
Okay.
A lot of the old stuff.
Yeah.
And then,
which is great to help the community, but it's not great for the return on investment.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you also have an option to be able to sell some of that back somewhere, even if it's to like some of these stores?
Yeah, but not much. I mean, it's a lot of it's not worth the time, to go and show.
I got you.
For, like if someone wants to come and look at a couch for $200 and then you got to go show it 3 or 4 or 5 times on Facebook Marketplace, it's not really
the
best use of time.
No, I hear that. Makes sense. So how much the market you're serving now with the agents, you mentioned 90% of them are, agents that are probably all different brokerages, right? That are out there. Are they just kind of coming to you through referrals for the most part, or has there been any sort of an intentional, I know you're obviously a partner with us, so maybe you've met some through that, but what are some things you've done intentionally to try to connect with the agent community and provide that service?
Your guys' magazine is actually the only form of marketing really that we've ever done.
Okay.
It's always been word of mouth and through relationships and repeat business and clients telling other clients and things like that and kind of passing our name around.
Gotcha. Okay. And so do you find that that's really where, like, the agents you're working with, are they pretty loyal? Are they using you multiple times and they kind of stick with you for a while?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, we get like one-offs here and there that we always try to find and recruit new business, and our clientele always tells other people, and realtors, for example, like they might not get a listing, but they'll tell a client about us, and then that client might use us even if that agent doesn't use us.
Makes sense. Do you have stats on like how more effective it is to stage the home in order to sell it at a faster rate or for more money versus not staging the home? What does that look like?
I have some ballpark ones. I know that it's they say on average around 10% more on your bottom line. So a $500K house could make or break about 50 grand. So it doesn't necessarily bring your $500,000 house up to 550, but your $500K house, if it's staged poorly or not staged at all, could end up at around 450 if it's not properly staged.
And in your experience, is it like most clients request that, or is it more of the agent being proactive and thinking about that in advance and offering that as almost like a value proposition?
Probably more so the agents, I would say. Not necessarily a value proposition, but just recommending it and saying, hey, we can get you way more if you stage it.
Sure.
Especially if it's like a funky house or has weird colors or things like that. Yeah. Or just a lot of little random defects. Staging can kind of distract from that a little bit.
What percentage of your listings are staged now?
Oh, 100%.
Is it?
Yeah.
Makes
Even
sense.
if they're occupied, we'll still go in and kind of consult and prep for other agents too. We'll come in and kind of work with what they have and just like shuffle things around if we need to tell them to move stuff out to the garage. We'll really make them like a whole to-do list of what to do, kind of like a buyer has like a home inspection when they're buying.
Yeah.
We kind of do that for people that are selling before they sell.
It's part of the whole consultation process. Yeah,
exactly. And then we'll CC the realtor. So the realtor will get a copy of it and then the homeowner will get a copy of it. And then they kind of have their to-do list. It also lets us be the bad guy instead of the agent. If, there's anything religious, political, sports related, we can kind of come in, or even just clutter, and we'll be the bad guy to tell them, hey, this isn't going to work. We got to take this down and depersonalize. Yeah.
No, it makes a lot of sense. When you say 100%, is that also the agents on your team that are pretty much using anyone who has a listing is
I mean, they're like, don't get me wrong. There's people that you walk in and just have like perfect model homes, and then
why bother
with that one? There's nothing to do. But yeah, so like 99%, I would say.
Okay. That makes sense. So obviously this could come across biased since you own a staging company, but if you were to consult, because you also are a broker, right? And you consult your agents on how to just do a great job at what they do. So if you were trying to give advice to any agent out there who, for whatever reason, maybe has been hesitant to embrace staging all the time for maybe the additional cost or whatever the reasons might be,
right?
Like how would you sell an agent on why this is something they should be a little bit of a no-brainer?
I mean, for me, I would say the biggest thing was before I opened the staging company, even before I was a listing agent, when I was just working mostly with buyers, you can feel the difference when you walk into an empty house or a house where all the lights are off and it's dirty and the homeowners didn't properly prep it. You instantly feel the difference when you walk into a properly prepped house where all the lights are on and it's staged perfectly. Or if you go to one of these new home builders like Lennar or West Bay, there's a reason why they spend, tens of thousands of dollars, not just staging their home, but they do a full interior design package to make those model homes. There's a reason why they spend all that money on that. And I think agents know that it's a lot easier for a buyer to get, the final vision of what the house is when they walk into a model or a staged house. So,
and who usually pays for the staging?
It's a mix.
Is that the client up front? Does the agent invest in that?
It's a mix. It depends on the agent. It depends on the homeowner. It depends on the commissions that different agents negotiate out.
Okay.
But sometimes the homeowner, sometimes the realtor, sometimes it's split. Sometimes we see the realtor offer to reimburse half at closing. I mean, it goes a bunch of different ways.
Okay. So is there like a formula that you recommend based on what the house is selling for, valuation of the property, as to what somebody should budget for staging? Is there any sort of connection there?
Not really based on price point. It's more so based on square footage.
Okay.
So we kind of have a formula on our end on how much to budget for. And then if it's luxury, then it'll go up a little bit from there. But I mean, the vast majority of our stages range from $1,500 to $3,000 for the base package, like all the common areas, living room, dining room, kitchen, and bathroom.
That's like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath type. 1,600 square feet type home.
That I would say that price that I just gave, that ranges anywhere from like 1,400 square feet to 2,500 square feet, like
Okay.
I would say your average
Okay.
sized home.
Yeah,
And
pretty
then
affordable, it seems like.
and if
it
people
can
want to
help,
add a bedroom, then they
if it
can.
can shave off a month of the listing time, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if it makes you an extra, like in that example before, a 500K house, if it makes the homeowner 50 grand more,
For sure.
and even if you're paying it and you're making, a couple percent off of that 50 grand, it almost pays for itself for you too as the agent to pay for it.
Yeah. No, it makes a lot of sense to me. Have you had still to this day like agents who just like for whatever reason are against the concept of staging and don't do it, or is it that's kind of obsolete at this point?
Yeah, I still get some that are like, oh, I actually prefer it when it's empty, and it's like, well, for some houses that works, but the vast majority of them it doesn't work.
And then I feel like a lazy almost way to go, Maybe I'm
yes
wrong
and
about
no.
that.
I mean, it could just be a difference of opinion. Like they
Sure.
just might not see the value, or maybe if they've worked with other staging companies, or if they've walked through homes that have wonky staging furniture in it, maybe they just have a bad taste in their mouth from that. It's hard to say.
Right. No, I hear you. So is there any, you think, important questions that an agent should ask or know about when it comes to properly setting this up in terms of expectations with their seller? Any advice there that you can share?
Yeah, I would say, well, first off, find out how many homes worth of inventory that they have, basically, that staging company. Because if it's less than 10, you're going to be just kind of working with whatever they have at that point for the most part. That's I would say the number one. Number two, I would say is find out how long the staging package is for. So like those kind of ballpark pricing that I gave you, that's for 2 months.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. You said if that's less, meaning if the staging company is working with less than 10
houses
clients at one given time.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then most likely you're going to be working with just like one house. Like they probably have 10 out altogether, and whatever one is coming up for a D stage, they're going to just be forced to use that.
I got you.
And in our beginning years, we kind of had to do that too. And looking back at some of the pictures, like one of my partners, or my only partner now, Monte, he just shared a picture of like from us from like 3-4 years ago even, and it was like embarrassing how bad. Just from 4 years ago.
You don't want to put your name on that, huh, Frank?
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, as you grow, you get more inventory. You can do stuff a little bit more custom. You have more options to pull from to get the perfect couch, the perfect dining table that's going to fit.
Sure.
When you only have 10, even if all 10 houses are sitting in your warehouse, which they're not, they're always going to be out at houses to a certain extent. You only have 10 dining room tables to pick from. And when you're talking about either a luxury home or even a small house that needs a tiny, tiny little 2 or 4 seater, you need, dozens of furniture options to pick from.
Yeah. That sounds like an important tip. So it's a good one to bring up. Was there anything else?
And then how long the staging package is, because that's, I would say, a little bit of a sales tactic that a lot of staging companies are using nowadays, where like we offer 2 months in that scenario that I was talking about before, price wise.
Is that pretty standard, 2 months?
I think 2 months is realistic and standard. And I think
everything's prepaid.
Everything's prepaid. Yeah. We used to offer a pay at closing option, but we had to stop doing that for more horror stories. But the biggest thing to keep in mind is you want it staged for, let's just say, at least a week to get all your photos and everything ready to go, and your video marketing and things like that, and then time to hit the market. And then you want to plan for at least a month on the market, right? Hopefully it's only a week. Hopefully it's only 2 days, realistically. But you want to at least be conservative with a month. And then you want it staged. You want it fully staged until the final walkthrough, basically. So you don't want the buyer to get all excited.
To be like, oh, I'm going to back out now. This looks horrible. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want them to get all excited on that first showing and then show up a week later and for inspection when they're getting hammered with all the things wrong with the house. And now not have it that same, that same butterfly feeling that they had when they first walked it. So you want to have it there for the inspection too. And then you want to have it there for the appraisal, because staging works on everyone. It works on agents.
It's an emotional thing.
It works on appraisers. It works on literally everyone in the transaction. So you want to keep it there for the appraisal too. And then usually whenever you get the appraisal back and clear, then that's when our clients will call us up and schedule the D stage essentially. Some will even wait until they get the final clear to close, and we'll time it to be pulled like the day before the final walkthrough, just in case like financing falls through at the last minute. Then they don't have to pay for a full stage again. Then they can just renew it monthly.
Yeah. And so worst case scenario, they get the 2 months expires, so they just kind of pay week to week, month to month after that?
Month to month, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's about 25% of whatever the initial is. So
I gotcha.
That's kind of one of the sales tactics that I was talking about, is a lot of them, they'll give you like this really low rate, but it's only a month. And then their renewal rate is like astronomical for the second, third, and fourth month, like double, sometimes triple what ours is.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of the...
Got to look into the fine print.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's cool, man. I appreciate you sharing that. There's a lot of nuggets there. I hope that was educational for any agents out there that can watch this, because you got to know what questions to ask if you really want to serve your client at the highest level, right?
Right.
And for your particular brand, you are able and capable of staging whatever type of home. Is that correct? Luxury, middle class, lower end.
Tiny,
it doesn't matter. Like, you can provide value in any of those. Is there anything you don't technically serve?
No, not really. We can pretty much do anything with the exception of...
You don't do commercial too, right?
Not really. We can do commercial if it's like we've done some where it's like a meeting, like a conference room where we can bring in like a dining table and some office chairs, and then we stage like the common areas as like a living room. So in that regard, we can do that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we've staged 10,000 square foot luxury homes on 6 acres and on the ocean.
Yeah.
And then we stage like some 500 square foot condos.
And what areas do you serve again?
Now we're actually pretty much statewide.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So all of Florida.
Yeah, we go, depending on the job, we'll definitely go as far south as Miami. Like, we won't go to Key West, obviously. That would be too far. But as far south as Miami, and pretty much all the way north.
What's the structure of the company now? You have one other business partner, or what's it look like now?
Yeah, I have a working business partter. Yeah.
Okay. And then
helps
do you guys have employees? Are they subs that help with the staging? Or?
Yeah, subs. We have 4 subs. So it's
pretty normal, pretty same people though that you're working with consistently.
Okay. Yeah, they've all been with us for several years.
So that's pretty lean and mean. You can serve the whole state with that staff, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm lucky with good people.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. So has it been everything you thought it was going to be, Frank, running the staging company, or what?
No, it's the polar opposite.
Because I don't know if I can keep up, but how many businesses do you own nowadays?
I have...
Frank Albert Realty, staging. Do you still have the cleaning company?
Yeah, the Airbnb cleaning company.
Okay, so that's 3.
The
food review, is that its own company?
It is.
Or just an Instagram page?
I'm trying to tie that in with the short-term rentals a little bit.
All right.
Like, as that's like the marketing platform for the short-term rentals.
Okay.
So I don't really count that as its own. But it's taken off to where I can't keep up. Like, we have a list of like 40 restaurants that want us to come and review it for free.
Who's us?
Me and like 3 of my buddies that we just
go and eat.
Started it, and we go eat and critique it and get video.
Do you have to pay for the food, or do they just give it to you for free?
No, it's free.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
And we just can't keep up.
I like this idea, Rob. I might have to start one of these myself.
Oh, it's the best.
Just get invited for free meals all over the area.
Yeah.
Do a little review on Instagram.
Yeah.
Is that what it's just Instagram?
Yeah. Well, it links to like Facebook, but it's primarily Instagram.
I got you.
Yeah.
Any particular types of restaurants, or just whatever?
No, whatever.
That's cool. I like that a lot, actually. We're gonna have to talk more about that one, I think.
Yeah.
Any other businesses we missed?
On that.
Yeah, we'll have to have Frank back on the show for each business, just just to dig in a little deeper. Yeah. Today was about Sublime Staging, and we'll have the food review business next. Yeah. That'll be the next scheduled podcast.
No, that's it. Just those.
Gotcha. That keeps you busy enough, I take it.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. So when you think about what it took as an entrepreneur, and we'll wrap up in just a minute here, but to successfully operate multiple businesses, I think a lot of people underestimate that type of challenge and maybe bite off more than they can chew a little bit too soon. Is there anything you've learned that has really helped you maintain or grow multiple businesses at the same time? Anything you can share there?
I would say the only way that I was able to start it up was, there was a lot of different things, but it was a mixture of being young and having energy, because like looking back, I definitely don't have the same energy now at 35 that I did when I was, well, 10 years ago when I started this, I was 25. And then when I started real estate, I was 20. And I definitely don't have the same energy. So I feel like I was lucky to just kind of start young. And then I also think it, not just necessarily the energy from being young, but like I have so much respect for people with kids and multiple kids and who have families and, you know, other things that can start up these like uber successful companies and multitask all of that, because it's a struggle for me with no kids. So I mean, I have a lot of respect.
So that's the real secret, is just don't have kids and you have as many businesses as you want.
Exactly. And do it young when you're 20.
Man, I missed my chance, Rob. Oh well, my kids are a blessing, so it is.
Oh,
what
for
it is.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, you have several very successful companies, so I have like so much respect for you to be able to delegate, you know, and have multiple things, the
we have fun
podcast,
with
the
it.
magazine, and things like that.
I have a great wife. That's what I could say.
I'll have 6 lifetime employees.
I do.
exactly.
I do. That's a good point. It's a
Yeah.
good point. My 10-year-old daughter is really starting to act like an employee. She's being very helpful around the house. God bless her heart.
Yeah,
Brooklyn, I
honestly,
love
when
you.
they're all 16 plus, like, you know, you're gonna have, that's.
Oh yeah, for
that's
sure.
so
A lot
true.
of help.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my friends who I met through this mastermind that I'm in, he had 4 boys, and they're older now, and I think they're in their 20s now. But when they were 13, he had them start a business each. Each one of the 4 started their own business at 13, and then they sold it at 18. So, I mean, that's just crazy experience, right?
Who is this?
His
Local,
name is
or
Rich
it's like
Christensen.
Okay.
He actually wrote a book.
He's local, like, you know him?
He's
or
not
this is
local.
a
He's in
story?
Texas.
Okay.
I know him through a mastermind that we're in. He's not local though. He's not Tampa Bay, but he lives in Austin, Texas. But I go to this mastermind. I'm a monthly member of this thing called Front Row Dads, and we meet on Zoom once a month. And then once a year, I go to Austin for a conference, and so he's there for that.
Oh, I love that.
So I heard him speak about this a couple years ago, and then I've gotten to talk to him about it multiple times since. He's a great guy.
What kind of companies? Like lawn mowing?
No, I don't remember all the details of which ones they did, but it wasn't just lawn mowing. Like I think one of them started up like a stock company, investment thing, but he made them sell it at 18. He didn't want them to like keep it
lifers.
and run the company going into college and all that. But it was just that commitment to the experience from 13 to 18 that I thought was really, really cool.
Wow,
So
I love that.
yeah, he did an amazing job. So it's something I've been talking to my 10-year-old about already, planting some of the seeds.
Are you going to do it?
Yeah, I mean that would be the game plan. I would love to create a similar model. He also talks a lot about what he calls rites of passage, and basically having these exotic trips, which I know you're really a fan of with what you do with your real estate team, and with each one of his sons taking them to like a third world country at a young age, around 12 years old, I think is when he did it, and just experiencing that as well, right?
Yeah.
And what that taught them, because they grew up in a pretty privileged home, and being able to see what it's like to experience the third world country, all that stuff. So yeah, like I said, he wrote a book. You could Google it. Rich Christensen is his name. I can't remember the name of his book, but I've read it, and it's very, very powerful.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna read that.
Yeah,
Sounds
no doubt,
really
man.
Cool. Well, what's your daughter's business gonna be?
That's a good question. She loves animals, so I could
he
see
let
her.
them pick.
He did.
He let them pick any
did.
industry, any.
I'm sure he helped he did help create some thoughts and ideas and gave them some things to think about or whatever. But yeah, ultimately it was their choice. And then I think he kind of would help with some of his network and maybe give him a resource here or there, but he didn't run it for him. Right. So it was their choice to do something. And then obviously he kind of gave him some consulting advice when needed.
Wow. I wonder what they sold the companies for. I'm so curious.
Well, that's the other thing is all the money that they sold it for went to charity.
Oh, charity.
Yeah.
Zag principle? Is that it?
Nah, it doesn't. He might have written that book. I think he's written more than one, but that's not the one that I read. The one I read was something about like purple toes or something.
Even if your toes turn purple.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
Wow.
Even if your toes turn purple, that's the name of the book.
I want to meet this guy. That's cool.
Yeah, he's really an interesting dude. He's I learned a lot from it. I've heard him speak more than once now, but
He's in real estate, or he's just
just he's a tech entrepreneur, I believe.
okay.
More than anything. Yeah. But yeah, man. So congrats on your success, obviously, as an entrepreneur with the multiple businesses that you've built up. Is there any, like, do you view them as like, hey, this is my baby, this one is more supplemental? Like, is there any priority in your mind, or are they all just as important to you?
I would say they're all equally important. They're all definitely equally important. I have different levels of partnerships on them. Mm-hmm. So like I have different people that I can trust more, and like certain ones that I don't have any partners on.
Yeah.
That then obviously, I know that there's nobody to fall back on and help with things.
Yeah.
Like the cleaning company, for example, I do little to nothing. One of my partners like is great and runs everything.
Yep.
With, I just kind of help with marketing and ideas and things like that when we're talking, just because I have like a little bit more Airbnb experience, so I can kind of see things as like how the host that would be hiring us would see things. Mm-hmm. So a little bit of like, say, consulting on that end, but for the most part, I don't help with the day-to-day operations of that. But yeah, I mean, they're all equally important. They all have, taken some financial investment and a lot of time investment. So
is there exit strategies where you plan on selling them one day? Or I know there's a lot of conversation out there when I talk to real estate people about what an exit strategy would look like for their sales for that business, which is sometimes hard to value, right, and sell. But I'm thinking that something like in staging or even in cleaning, that might be a little bit easier to evaluate and have an exit strategy with.
Yeah, I mean, a couple years ago, if you would have asked, like I was begging people to buy the staging company for me, like you could have made me any crazy lowball offer and I probably would have taken it because I was just so over it.
Was that after the nightmare? We didn't really dig into that, but the horror story that I know I've heard before.
The biggest horror story.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there have been
basically you had somebody stealing from you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And well, not just that, but then all of our furniture was piled up 15 feet high in a storage unit, several of which I wasn't even told about, and they were getting auctioned off at, like from some random storage company that I had never heard of. Yeah, so that was definitely the biggest sticking point there, and that was basically restarting the entire company over again because like 70% of our furniture was ruined and destroyed. And then, yeah.
And so the funds that were there were getting embezzled by some apparent partner that wasn't really in it for the right reasons, right?
Yeah, exactly. So,
where do you spend most of your time now? Is it still mostly on real estate, would you say? Or?
Definitely mostly on real estate, I would say. And then just the scheduling and really the scheduling of the staging of where we're going to pull this couch from, where we're going to pull that from, like putting the word out there, reaching out to our clients, kind of making sure that all of our clients are happy. And so I would say it's like 60% of my time is real estate, 25% is staging, and then the other 15% is like Airbnbs and personal time.
You still buying on the Airbnb side?
No.
You've been selling?
I haven't been selling.
Just been holding?
Just been holding, yeah. And that's not due to any other reason other than like I've kind of hit my limit time-wise.
So it's not because you don't think there's good deals out there anymore. It's
No, there's still good deals to be made for sure. It's just, and it's kind of pulling back a little bit and wanting to carve out a little bit more personal time.
Sure.
As I get a little bit older, I just don't want to be working.
You're not that old yet,
hours.
Frank. Still got many years to come, hopefully.
Yeah, but I don't want to be working 90 hours a week anymore. I want to be working like
I respect that.
60.
And if you guys want to become an agent, one of the things that I know Frank has is a team called Frank Albert Realty. And if you are an agent who might not be satisfied with where you're at, he offers his team trips to Japan. If you guys if you're looking for a fun trip, right, to Japan, you do have to earn it through sales. You don't just get to go if you're part of the team. But I think you're doing some really cool things with your sales team as well.
Thanks. Yeah, Japan's this year. Italy was last year.
Right.
Greece.
Pretty cool stuff. There's not a lot of teams out there that offer those types of incentive trips, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what percentage of your agents make those trips.
It depends on the year. This is the first year actually that we upped the sales goal from, like, it's been the same for the last 7 years, which the market has quadrupled over the last 7-8 years, let's say. So the same goal then would have been much higher now. But yeah, so this year it's hard to say how many are going to hit it.
So it's always just like a certain sales quota, like hit
Yeah.
X and you get to go.
Yeah.
It's not like be top 20 in the office or top 10 or whatever and you get to go.
Yeah, prior to this year, it was always 5 million,
Okay.
which was our minimum to join the brokerage.
I gotcha.
So if you hit the 5 million, then you got to come on the team trip every year.
Okay.
It's ranged from, back in the beginning when we were a much smaller team, it was like maybe 6 or 7 of us. No, maybe 8. I think the smallest we did was like a group of 8, and that includes like some of our office staff and things like that. And my mom, who's on our office, like my mom comes. And then now this last year, I think there was like 20, somewhere around 20.
That's gotten
in
expensive,
Italy.
huh?
Very expensive, very hard to
Is it
manage.
all expenses paid or are they paying anything?
It's mostly all expenses paid, like some food and stuff they get, but I have like certain dinners,
Airfare and
scheduled.
hotels, your
Airfare's covered,
covering all
hotels
that.
covered, excursions are covered, some big meals are covered, some drinks, some night outings
Sure.
are covered, like random lunches here and there. Like if people break off and go do their own thing is like pretty much the only thing
Right.
not included. But with that stuff, I kind of don't even count because if you were home, you'd be spending money on food anyway.
Sure.
So
So Japan is this year, huh?
yeah,
You ever been there before?
no,
It'll be first time with the whole crew. Is it Tokyo or where are you going?
haven't planned that out yet. It depends how many people make the trip
That makes sense.
because
Yeah.
I can't.
Oh,
like-
so it's not 2024 volume. It's this year's sales volume?
Yeah, so next year, starting next year, it's going to be. So right now, basically, January to December is counting for next year.
Mm-hmm.
But for this year's trip, I think I cut it back to like April to April or May to May.
Okay.
Just
People got till
because-
May to qualify, huh?
Yeah, May or April. I have to double check that.
When do you do the trip?
It's usually like September, October.
Okay. Nice.
But how it's been before was
If you're an agent who think you can get at least, what do they have to do? 10 million this year?
8.
8 million. 8 million in between now and May.
Yeah, that's
Boom.
so easy.
You're going. You're going to Japan, baby.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
This will be the first time that I'm going for the first time with my agents. Everywhere else, I always take a trip in advance to scope out where I want to take them to and like learn the cool spots and, do some fun excursions that I know they would enjoy.
Yeah.
This will be the first time that I'm just kind of rolling the dice and hoping that
You're going to
I
be a rookie
choose-
just like them, huh?
Yeah.
You're gonna go to Fiji or Fuji, Mount Fuji.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Japan's pretty
There's so
exotic.
many-
I would think. I
so
mean,
many
it's tough to go
spots.
up from there. What's next? Like Abu Dhabi or something?
I don't know what is next.
Eventually, you just take them all to the moon, maybe?
Yeah. Japan's like pretty up there.
It is up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on my list. I would love to. I will get out there one day. I look forward to it. I think we've talked about this before, but I traveled to Prague when I was in the Cutco days. I did Italy, a couple different European trips, Ireland, London, but never been to China. Never been to Japan.
Have you done Asia at all? Anywhere in Asia?
No, never Asia. Farthest I've been is Prague.
Okay.
So Eastern Europe,
Yeah.
that area. But I love traveling. It's tougher when you got little ones at the house
sure.
to be able to do
Yeah.
that type of a trip. But
Yeah.
one day, when the opportunities, hopefully, will be there again.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, you could do third world countries with them, like
true.
that guy.
Yeah, I plan on it, actually. I think that's another cool idea. The church that I go to does a lot of missions trips, and a lot of times those are to third world countries, so I can see opportunities there as well.
Yeah.
To get them, involved with that whole
Yeah.
process.
I'm doing one of those next month.
A mission trip?
It's not a mission trip, but we're going to Costa Rica and building houses for
Cool.
like 3 different families.
Like a Habitat Humanity thing?
Kind of, yeah. I haven't done the research, but I know that their thing is that they're going to be building 3 houses in 3 days. So I have no idea how that's going to happen. I know there's like 65 volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of interested on how that's going to be getting done. Have you done any housing related ones?
No, I have. Well, no, not housing. I helped build like a kids camp up in
Okay.
Canada, but it wasn't housing. But we were doing some constructional work and whatever was needed up there at the camp. But no, nothing specifically with building homes. No.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'd love to take something from that back to here, some sort of
Sure.
local
Yeah.
charity of some kind. So
Yeah.
I'm really interested to learn how they do this, how they fund it, how, everything. I know that this trip basically was $1,500 per person,
Okay.
and that includes hotel, which for 3 days in Costa Rica is like only like a couple
Yeah.
$100. So
I've been to Costa Rica. I can't remember the name of the resort, but it was gorgeous. We were right on the beach. And I remember taking a bus 20 minutes inland, and you're in a completely different weather environment.
Oh, yeah.
You go
They
into the
have, like,
mountains, and you're in the
microclimates.
rainforest, and
yeah,
felt like I was in like the Garden of Eden or something. It was
Yeah.
so exotic, and it was beautiful.
I love Costa Rica.
Yeah, it was fun. I was only there once. I was there for about a week. But we're going to put a bow on the episode. So if somebody wants to reach out to you, Frank, and pick your brain a little bit more about staging or any of the other businesses that you mentioned, what's the best way for someone to reach out to you about Sublime specifically?
The back cover of Tampa Bay Real Producers.
Boom, there you go.
Or-
we could probably even throw that up on the screen at some point. But
Or Instagram, Sublime_staging. And then our phone number's on there. You could text us on our 24 hours to get an instant quote.
yep,
Yeah, I would say
appreciate it.
for all things, you could reach me through Sublime.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Last thing I'll ask you is, what's one tip you would give to somebody who's thinking about starting up other businesses, multiple businesses in their portfolio? Is there something that you would want to leave them with that they should be prepared for?
Make sure that you enjoy coffee.
Good tip. Good. All right, guys, we end every episode with a challenge, right? And that's to the audience, because if you're going to take the time to listen to this, whether it was live through Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, or you're watching or listening to this on any of the 15 plus podcast platforms that we're on, if you haven't subscribed, by the way, just click the button. That way you're notified every time we drop a new episode like the one we just did with Frank. But what's one thing that you can take from our conversation today that can help propel you forward personally or professionally? We talked a little bit about the importance of traveling even in this conversation, and maybe that's something that you've been thinking about with your team, and you might want to pick Frank's brain about that a little bit and the culture that helps create in your organization. Obviously, we talked a lot about the staging side, right? And maybe you're somebody who doesn't really have a great partner yet with staging, and you might want to talk to Frank about what it would look like to work with him and his team a little bit more to help, boost up your listings and increase that added value for your clients and all the things we talked about. Frank shared some great questions that you should be thinking about and asking if you are going to be working with a staging company. So that would be some things I'd make a note of if you didn't already get a chance to do that. But take action, right? Do one thing that would lock in the value that you committed to when you decided to watch the show. And we will see you, of course, on the next episode of Tampa Bay Real Producers Podcast and the Top Producers Nation podcast, which you can again find at topproducersnation.com to see all of the community. You can even join the community and learn more about everything we're doing there. We'll see you on the next show. Later.